which is led by Honorable TP Gamadlopa Mthethwa, the member of the provincial legislature. His policy on women, youth, and people with disabilities. And lastly, under party organization and development, that one is led by Comrade Joshua Masibuko. As we move closer to our policy conference, we look forward to engaging in robust discussions and developing policies that address the pressing issues of our time. Together we shall build a future that works for all South Africans. On SOEs, the incompetence and mismanagement of the ANC in handling failing state-owned entities is nothing short of a national disaster. For years, they have allowed these crucial institutions to rot from within, wreaking havoc on our economy and depriving the citizens of South Africa of vital services. One need not look further than the catastrophic debacle that is ESCOM to understand the depth of their ineptitude. ESCOM, once a proud and efficient state-owned utility, now stands as a symbol of ANC's colossal failure. With rolling blackouts, sky-high debt, and outdated infrastructure, ESCOM's decline has been spectacular. The ANC's lack of accountability and decisive action has allowed corruption to fester, turning ESCOM into a cell pool of mismanagement and malfeasance. But ESCOM is just one chapter in the ANC's sorry saga of SOE's neglect. SAA, SABC, and Transnet, among others, have also become epicenters of waste, corruption, and mismanagement. The ANC has consistently turned a blind eye to the rot within these entities, allowing them to bleed taxpayer money with no accountability in sight. Their inability to act swiftly and decisively in cleaning up these SOEs reveals a stark lack of political will and a startling disregard for the welfare of the people. The ANC seems more concerned with protecting its own interest and those of its cronies rather than addressing the urgent needs of the nation. It is abundantly clear that the ANC's leadership has been utterly incapable of providing the direction and governance needed to rescue our ailing SOEs. Their inaction, corruption, and lack of accountability have left South African people to bear the brunt of their catastrophic failures. It is time for the ANC to step aside and make a way for leaders who are committed to genuine reform, accountability, and the best interest of the nation. The people of South Africa deserve better than this endless cycle of decay and dysfunction. On the critical issue of the conflict in Gaza, the IFP's position on the ongoing conflict in Israel and Palestine is one of unwavering commitment to peace, to peaceful coexistence and just resolution. We firmly believe in diplomacy and dialogue as the means to achieve lasting peace, respecting the rights and aspirations of both parties. Our stance on the conflict in Gaza is founded on the principles of peace, justice, and the respect for the rights and aspiration of all parties involved. We are deeply concerned about the ongoing conflict and the humanitarian suffering it inflicts on innocent civilians in the region. The IFP firmly believes in the necessity of a peaceful and negotiated resolution to this long-standing and complex conflict. Our party advocates for a two-state solution that recognizes the right of both Israelis and Palestinians to self-determination within secure and internationally recognized boundaries. This solution should be achieved through diplomatic negotiations, and we encourage both parties to return to the negotiating table with an open mind and genuine commitment to finding a lasting peace. The IFP condemns violence and the use of force as means of resolving disputes, and we urge all parties to exercise restraint and avoid actions that exacerbate tensions. Human rights and international law must be upheld and respected by all sides, ensuring the protection of civilian lives and infrastructure. We also call for international involvement, including the United Nations and regional organizations, to play an active role in mediating the conflict and ensuring that the agreed upon peace process is fair and equitable. We are dedicated to supporting all diplomatic efforts aimed at achieving a just and lasting resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. On a subject, Bungawe, it is about you. The Inkatha Freedom Party is proud to announce the official launch of our highly anticipated community engagement campaign called Bungawe, It's About You. This dynamic initiative is designed to strengthen connections with our diverse community members, promoting active citizenship and empower individuals to actively participate in the democratic process. We understand the importance of harnessing the power of digital platforms and data analytics to better understand the concerns of the electorate and effectively communicate our vision for a more prosperous and equitable future. Bungawe, It's About You, embodies the IFP's commitment to inclusive governance and fostering a sense of belonging among all South Africans. This campaign will focus on community dialogue through providing platforms for open and constructive conversation where community members can share their concerns, ideas, and aspirations for their neighborhoods, towns, and cities. Furthermore, Bungawe will focus on empowering the youth to actively participate in civic activities within special emphasis on mentoring and leadership development in constituencies of the IFP. The Bungawe campaign is about the people of South Africa. The focus areas: service delivery, addressing community needs by collaborating with local authorities to improve service delivery, infrastructure, and basic amenities. The second aspect is about education and awareness, conducting workshops, seminars, and awareness campaign on civic rights, responsibilities, and the importance of voting. The third aspect is on community projects, initiating and supporting local projects that enhance the quality of life in our communities. The Bungawe campaign truly is about each and every South African citizen. We want to engage with the people of South Africa, listen to their concerns, and work together with the people of South Africa to build a better future for our nation. On the 28th of October 2023, we will kick off our national voter registration campaign in Emalahleni in Mpumalanga province to encourage all South Africans, in particular the youth who have not done so as yet, to register to vote IFP on the 18th and 19th of November 2023. The IFP encourages all South Africans to join the movement and participate in Bungawe It's About You campaign to make a positive impact on their communities. To learn more about this campaign, Bungawe, and stay updated on upcoming events, please visit the website of the IFP, www.ifp.org.za, and follow us on social media at IFP_national. A separate topic, memorial services. In commemoration of our founder and President Emeritus, Umntwana Wapindangene, the IFP will continue holding memorial services, paying tribute to his enduring legacy as an icon leader and statesman whose contribution have left an indelible mark on the history of our nation. On the 5th of November 2023, the IFP in KwaZulu-Natal extends an invitation to the province's residents to attend the memorial services at the Princess Makoko Stadium in KwaMashu. This solemn gathering offers an opportunity for our community to collectively honor the memory of a leader who guided our province and our nation with unwavering dedication and vision. Furthermore, the IFP Parliamentary Caucus will graciously host a memorial service in Cape Town on the 9th of November, open to all members of the public, civil society, and faith-based organizations. This event will take place at St. George's Cathedral, situated next to Parliament in the CBD area. On behalf of the IFP, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the media for their dedication and comprehensive coverage of the funeral and memorial services honoring our beloved IFP founder and President Emeritus, the Prince of Wapindangene. Your role in bringing the nation together to celebrate the remarkable life and enduring legacy has been invaluable. Additionally, we appreciate the role you have played in making history by facilitating the first address to the public by our full National Executive Committee since the passing of our esteemed leader. Prince Buthelez's vision and leadership have left an indelible mark on our party and our nation, and the media's support in sharing this momentous occasion with the world is deeply appreciated. Thank you for helping us pay tribute to a man who dedicated his life to the service of South Africa and its people. As I conclude, we are excited to embark on the various initiatives we have announced today, from our provincial memorial services in honor of Umntwana Wapindangene to the IFP's policy conference and the launch of our Gungawe, It's About You, and our voter registration campaign. As we all come to terms with the passing of our founder and President Emeritus, the Prince of Wapindangene, as the IFP Leadership Collective, we want to assure our members and South Africans that Umntwana has groomed us for the road ahead. The party remains united and committed in our quest to bring about meaningful change in the lives of all South Africans. These endeavors represent our unwavering commitment to the betterment of our nation, inclusive governance, and the active participation of our citizens in the democratic process. We are poised to take on the challenges of the 2024 national and provincial elections, and we are confident in our readiness to serve the people with integrity and commitment. Once again, thank you for your presence today, and we look forward to fruitful engagement and collaboration that lies ahead. Together, we will continue to strive for a South Africa that thrives on unity, justice, and prosperity. I will now open the floor for any question or comments from the media. Thank you very much, Mashasha, for handling the process.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We might take questions. David, can you have the room mic, please? Please, colleagues, just introduce yourselves and pose your question. Just 1 second.
My name is David from Velenkosini.
David, what did you do? We can't hear.
On the issue of the Palestinian-Israel conflict, the ANC has already made it public that they support arresting. Perhaps what is your view on that? And also, there is an allegation that the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Dr. Larry Pound, made a call to the leader of Hamas to express the South African government support for Hamas. So I would also want to know what is the IFP's view on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. System also from IFP. Just two questions. I can see that Mr. Hlabisa said his move to Cape Town is part of the party's mood leadership transition. I quote. Now, can you deny or confirm allegations that were pushed out of KwaZulu-Natal and moved to Cape Town in order to make way for Mr. Tamin to use the provincial chairperson to be the premier candidate for the IFP ahead of the 2024 elections? And my second question is related to factionalism within the IFP. We now know about the voice note that was sent by Mr. Tizu, which is telling Zulu, who is the speaker of Inkatha, where he was addressing a WhatsApp group of people who call themselves Shilukate. We don't need to introduce or to explain what is Shilukate. We all know what is Shilukate. I'm going to discipline this person for that. And again, what I'm going to deal with factionalism, because in as much as we can deny it, we can see that it is really exactly within the IFP.
Thanks. I'm not sure, Mr. President, may I crave your indulgence to deal with this issue of factions first, and then we'll come to the other issues, because part of me says that there is the reporting as around these non-existent things. I want to, on behalf of the leadership of the IFP, publicly state that the continued allegations around tensions between the President and the Chairperson of KwaZulu-Natal are unfounded and baseless. It continues to be an unfair categorization of the two leaders, and the Chairperson of KwaZulu-Natal has had to bear the brutal brunt of issues raised around his name without any proof, basis, or substance, and ambitions which he has not pursued nor desire have been made around his name, as we just said now, around the issue of the premiership of KwaZulu-Natal. Whilst we are a political party, we find it quite disingenuous that baseless allegations continue to be characterized in the media space as factual. There is no basis to what has been raised, to the extent to which it's common cause that KwaZulu-Natal is the IFP's biggest province. Therefore, from time to time, the IFP's NEC presence in KwaZulu-Natal will be heightened. That does not speak to tensions, it speaks to a team united on its onward march towards 2024. Therefore, our appeal is that unless there's something substantive that you can back up with facts, then I've stopped denigrating the leadership of the IFP, the Chairperson of KwaZulu-Natal, and the President. As far as we know, their working relationship is that of leaders, is that of comrades, committed to the IFP's mission and vision. Now, from time to time, these things are in the media, but there's nothing that you produce to back up the issues that you are raising. On the issue of the voice note you are raising, that voice note is as old as one can remember, and Prince Zulu has actually come forward to say it was a statement which was made on the basis of misjudgment. It must not be presented as something that is new and comes from yesterday. It's very, very, very old. Now we dig up these things and we come and tarnish the name of the leadership. I thought I should be the one on behalf of the leadership to say, hi guys, I don't like my so. So I do not think that it's fair, particularly on the President and the Chairperson of And then this thing of the premiership, I would just want to ask, your sources that you speak to, have they come to you and said this body has said and discussed it? Or you couldn't know it and then they say to the NEC discussing it? Why should the NEC inherit Ukuno's organ? The IFP has not had a discussion on the premiership, and the president was not pushed to go to Cape Town. It was a decision of the party. Why would he be pushed? So I just want to be the one to address that issue, because I find it to be quite unfortunate, and I find it to be an unfair and baseless characterization which seeks to fit into the agenda of our detractors. You see, we are doing well as the party. So something wrong must be found even where it does not exist. So my challenge is that place on the table proof, not as one, not rumors, not stories, and then we can deal with it. So I hope that from today we can really move away from this baseless characterizations and unfair denigrations of the president and the chairperson of KwaZulu-Natal. Take it from us who work with them and those that know them. We are always surprised when you read the kind of nonsense that's out there. Thank you. So I just wanted to respond to that particular issue around these tensions which don't assuage. And you know, the membership of the IFP, I can tell you, they too are pleasantly surprised because they don't know it. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mashasha. I will touch on the matter, and Umpemba also, because he is present. Sizoyikhulumela ngoba sikabi ngamadlozi, so that we clear this matter once and for all. Basically, kusala the people who have negative intentions of peddling this matter in the social media. But let me start with the question on the issue regarding the ruling party publicly supporting Palestine. It is the choice of the ANC to do so. I'm sure you are the people in media, you have a particular view of how elections were held in Zimbabwe recently. And looking at how the elections were run, when you can make a judgment, was it necessary for South Africa to welcome the results and even grace the occasion? If you look how the results, how the elections were run. So now, on the issue of Palestine, if you want peace, you do not stand out completely and side with one section that is involved in a serious tension as we see in Gaza. For the minister, Naledi Pandor, to make a call to the leader of Hamas, it is also at the discretion of the minister and for the people of South Africa who knows how a country should respond in a conflict situation, because people are dying there. The IFP is of the view that what should be paramount to everyone is to call for peace. The two sections involved, Israeli and Palestine, who are involved in a war situation. Innocent people are dying. Taking one side of the two involved in a conflict will never be a solution. That is why we believe the international organization, the United Nations, and the organization in Africa should intervene in this matter and call the two parties to reach a settlement which can eventually accord the two nations independence and self-determination. That is what we feel everybody should be working towards, that instead of promoting one against other, because that will cause the conflict to go on endlessly. Let me come to the question by Sihle. As you rightly quoted, smooth transition. I think we should be congratulating the IFP, Sihle, instead of listening to people whom you don't know who they are, who are your sources, as you indicated. Indeed, this is a smooth transition. The current president of the IFP succeeded the founder, Umntwana kaPhindangene, as the president of the IFP. The current president of the IFP is occupying the seat and to be a leader of the caucus in Cape Town, where the IFP founder, Umntwana kaPhindangene, was playing that role. And I'm sure from a logical conclusion, this is a real smooth transition the IFP is put into place. And that is what should be the media. But I'm glad because I read some newspapers yesterday morning congratulating the IFP how it managed the way it filled in the vacant position in Cape Town. And a variety of media sources were giving positive remarks showing that the IFP is indeed moving forward as a party that knows what it is doing. And I hope, Mabuso, we should be joining those people who are really commending a smooth transition other than wanting to divert from what is good done by the IFP. Let me close on that one. On the issue of the IFP president, the provincial chairperson, the issue of the premier in KwaZulu-Natal. The IFP has never met to discuss who will be a premier candidate in 2024 or who will be in the list of members of provincial legislatures and the National Assembly. It has not met. Now, people who want to divert the attention of the IFP and who want to see the IFP engaged in a continuous conflict, they are starting to say so-and-so is going to be in this position and removing so-and-so from that position. You know, in 1994, the IFP did not have a premier candidate. In 1999, it did not have a premier candidate. In 2004, it did not have a premier candidate. In 2014, it did not have a premier candidate. Those positions were only decided once elections had been done and the results known. The IFP can also make similar decisions because it has done so several times in the past. You see, it's dangerous because we want to discourage these people because they are not working in the interest of the IFP. The relations between me and Umpemba are very good, and I've said this several times. If you want to check the relations between leaders, you conclude, do they call each other? Yes, they call each other. Do they text each other on WhatsApp? No, they don't text each other. They only talk in meetings. The leaders who are in bad terms, they are only forced to talk each other because they are in one meeting. Myself and Umpemba, we have a hot line through WhatsApp. We have a hotline through telephone calls. We have a good relationship in terms of activities he is handling or organizing as a provincial leader. He consults me, he invites me, and there was something that was circulating in the media. I think, remember, one must address this one once and for all, where they said the president does not shake hand of Mpemba. You know, now I'm sure why khona, probably no Zondo, because it was at Mtubatuba. I moved with Mpemba from point A at Riverview to point B, Mtubatuba Town Hall, to point 3, Nodale Hall, to point 4, Edmonds. Angwazi ukusuka noMphemba eRiverview because uMphemba wayehamba nami engethula wonke lama-point amathathu. Bese ngifike ngiqhawula yena phambili la ngiyakhona. I can't do that. Because shuthi ngaba ngazi ukuthi yini ukuqhawula umuntu. Yingakho uma ngifika noMphemba, ngifike ngiqhawule abantu angithula kubo. In these 4 points. And then I saw these things circulating, isiphambanisiwe ukuthi abasabhekani, abasaqhawulani ngisho uqhawulana. But now uMphemba wayehamba nami on the day engi-introduce kubaholi in a VD and VD and VD. And again, ngifuna ukuthi ke mhlawumbe some of you who might have not known the background walo muntu wavele wakhatha leya video mischievous. He wants to see tension between the IFP leaders. Hey, ngeke kazaphumelela. I want to assure you from the media, noma ubani ozofuna ukuphosa isikhuni sedungamuzi phakathi kweqembu le-IFP sizomkhipha simlahlele ngaphandle njengesikhuni sedungamuzi. Our focus is serving the people of South Africa. And we are not going to allow any deviation of attention. And they can say, away, ukuthi abanye, abakutholi ubuthongo. Ngoba iscore kuma-by-election KwaZulu City 10-1. I'm sure you know what do I mean by 10-1. Now, leso score, asibalalisi abanye abantu. They will try by all means ukuthi KwaZulu Natal akube nomsindo. There must be conflict in KwaZulu Natal amongst leaders of the IFP so that they will be held up in this conflict and forget about campaigning. They are late. We are not going to entertain them. And in the social media, we are going to track people now. We know abanye bakhuluma khona ukuthi they use pseudonyms, fake accounts. If we can't conclude ukuthi ngobani, we can't do anything. But all IFP members who will engage on social media to cause division in the IFP, we are going to tackle them. Lastly, on question of factions. Factions have no place in the IFP. Anyone who calls himself a triple K or an AU has no love of the IFP. It is unwise to continue on the issue of factions and camps, because we have seen, even in other political parties, how factions have destroyed the political parties. As the leadership of the NEC, as you could see, the turnout today is because we are resolved in unity. And we are resolved. Anyone who wants to divide the party, we will deal with that person effectively. I think, Mpemba, you can go to respond on this matter, because you must bury it once and for all.
No, thank you, President. Honorable members of the NEC, members of the media. I think if I say more than what the President and the initial spokesperson have said, it will be just a repetition, because our focus as the IFP is to build a strong IFP, to expand
as evidenced by the performance in the by-elections, where even you were weak or thin previously. Take what 1998 women in Swabatu, in the south of KwaZulu-Natal, where people thought we were quite very thin. And we've demonstrated that all over the province of KwaZulu-Natal as the IFP, we are a formidable force, and that is our main focus. On the other street gossips, in fact, they do not assist us. However, I must appreciate that the Honourable President and the National Spokesperson were able to set the record straight. Thank you very much.
President, this one is directed to you. Don't know how much time you're spending in the Western Cape compared to the province, but there's a question of whether your deployment in the Western Cape will affect electioneering in this province, because this is where your base mostly operates. But also, I'm looking at what you said to us in 2021 that the IFP ahead of the 2024 polls is setting its sights even outside KwaZulu-Natal. How far is the progress? How have you're working in other provinces as a party moving? Like, I know there's a lot happening in provinces like Mpumalanga and Eastern Cape. How are voters welcoming you in those provinces? Youth Brigade, I'll take this. You raised an issue with the Moonshot Pact. Has that been addressed at party level? Have you been certified? Because you did raise quite a lot of issues around that, and let me say a lot of unhappiness with regards to that. Have you raised that at this recent ANC meeting? Have you been addressed? Are you at peace with it now? So it seems, remember, and Mr. Hlabisa, that you say there are no factions and that there are those who are creating this so-called sour relationship between the two of you. Seemingly that some of those are in the party, is that not concerning to both of you? And what should be done in this regard? Lastly, looking at the relationship we have with the Zulu Royal household, it seems as though this month King Misuzu was supposed to celebrate a year since government fully certified him, but his brother, the firstborn son of the late King, Princess Malaki, has joined him to court in this regard, saying that his recognition, which of course the parties found in President Rizman was treated as played a huge role in, was unfounded, and that the president should overrule this. What is the IFP's stance on that? Thank you.
Right, is there any other hand? You sure? Going once, going twice, Mr. President?
Thank you very much. Let me start with a question in relation to the Zulu Royal household. The IFP is of the view that there is a king, as we speak, King Misuzu, as a king of the Zulu nation. And we will recognize that until we are informed otherwise. And we hope and pray that the royal household can find itself and deal with these matters in a way that will end amicably. We are hopeful that the courts of law will prevail on the matter and allow the Zulu nation to move forward. I think I can only, on behalf of the IFP, comment up to that point. So the programs and activities that we will support in terms of attendance, because For years, we have demonstrated that there is a separation between the Zulu royal household matters and the IFP. We are only supporting the royal household irrespective of how the issues are handled within the royal household. And we acknowledge the king as above politics, and we will never want to see anyone wanting to use politics in supporting either the king or whatever section, because that will be wrong to do, since the king is above the law. Is above political sections. On the issue of how far have you gone, as you in 2019 proclaimed your desire to expand the footprint of the IFP. In 2019, we had one leg. The NEC spent 4 days in Gauteng. We took a second leg to Limpopo. We took a third leg to Mpumalanga. In February, we took a fourth leg to Free State. And then in March, COVID-19 kicked in. Nothing happened thereafter, as well as in 2021 up until July, where we had to get ready for elections in November 2021. We are still committed, but the good news is Mrs. Gamadlopa Mthethwa is our deployed leader in Mpumalanga. And in Mpumalanga, there was a time when there were by-elections, if I'm not mistaken, May, June, where the IFP did well, exceeding other political parties. I don't want to talk about their name because I will be campaigning for them if I do so. In Mpumalanga province, which is outside KwaZulu-Natal, we are contesting elections in Free State, which is a province outside KwaZulu-Natal, as well as elections in Gauteng. We will be doing very well. As I indicated, our launch for the voter registration will take place in Mpumalanga, which is outside KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, which are the two main strongholds of the IFP. This is our commitment in expanding the footprint of the IFP. The Ungawe campaign, talking to all people of South Africa. We will take this campaign to Free State. Limpopo, Ubabugwala is our leader deployed in Limpopo and Northwest. In all these provinces, we will be taking our campaign to engage with the citizens. But the truth that you need to acknowledge, we have about 7 months to go to elections now. It is unwise to overextend yourself than concentrating where you will mobilize more voters for the elections next year. Let me conclude on this question by saying we are approaching elections for 2024 in a set of 3 elections: 2024, 2026, and 2029. Now, there are targets that we want to achieve in 2024, and all the work that we are doing up to 2024 will yield to our targets in 2026. And after the local government in 2026, our work will yield to elections in 2029. In 2026, as I said, before 2021, I told many journalists that we will do well. In 2021, we will win many municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal. They said, but how do you know that? I said, come after elections, and I will confirm. They never came back. But the truth is that we did well. We will do well next year. We will do well in 2026. We will take municipalities which we couldn't take in 2021. And all those municipalities in 2026, together with our work next year, will be our effort to make the IFP do extremely well in 2029 in a number of provinces. So now, our strategy, our targets, our plan is in place when we look at the 3 coming elections, because we are working with them as a set of elections. The issue of what about these people who are causing factions, who are within the organization? I said it. You know, abanye bebeganga ngesikhathi sisazilile, ngesikhathi umntwana siqeda ukukhothama, anithi nizilile nibe nidila ngey'ngane ey'gangayo ekhaya. Sidlule manje kwi-morning session. As I said, anyone who caused division, we're going to take that person head on. Anyone. Akho muntu lesombekezelela nje ozodala ingxabano nokwehlukanisa abaholi engenziwa lutho. Akho ngisho noyedwa esombekezelela. We want to move forward as a united force because our targets are clear and we do not want to be diverted by anyone. Let me respond on the question of you raised about the consent by the youth, because I think we should not allow a situation where we are being divided as one section against the other. The IFP allows freedom of speech. That is why when the Youth Brigade expressed a view, we invited them that no, you sit in the NEC as you see them here. The platform to raise any discussion is in the committee where you sit. You will agree with me that if you are a member of the committee, you don't go and address a matter outside the committee, having not addressed inside the committee and get clarity. We discussed the matter on that Monday, the very same Monday, and we came into a very clear understanding. Because there is a fear which is even said by other people that this might confuse people, that you are working in a multi-party charter with other political parties to provide an alternative. But the fact of the matter, we are already in coalitions. In Tswane, it's a coalition of the IFP, DA, EFF, ACDB. We're in a coalition already. In Mhlathuze, in Mtubatuba, in Mhlabialingana, in Newcastle, in Abakulusi. The list, if I'm not mistaken, is probably about 13 municipalities in which we are in a coalition with these parties. You see, what is happening at COJ is a disgrace. What is happening at COJ, because in a period of about 2 years, is it 4 or 5 mayors, Longis, COJ, is it 4 or 5 mayors from 2021? It's 5. In a period of 2 years. It's a joke. Why? If you get into a coalition having not prepared, you will get into dysfunctional coalitions. In KwaZulu-Natal, the IFP has taken a further step of entering into service level agreement with coalition partners to ensure that we consolidate, because abantu basmart, abantu base-South Africa, akho umuntu odide kanje. Andiphela siyabona ngama-by-election. Emhlathuze sikwi-coalition. Kodwa uma kuthiwa kuyavotwa njena ifike ngathi iwadi ku-ANC eMahlangana. Zolo futhi lokhu siphinde sivothatha iwadi ku-ANC esikhaleni. Abantu ke abaconfusekile nhlobo. because the multi-party charter does not make political parties to form one political party. They will contest elections as separate political parties with their identities, with their manifestos, and the truth of the matter. As South Africa, you have only 14 days after my elections to form a government. Only 14 days. Mawuya kwamanye countries, bana 3 months, 4 months, up to 6 months. Niyakwazi ukunegotiate ukuthi ke look, akekho umuntu oyi-majority la. How can we form the government? 6 months. In South Africa, you have 2 weeks to do so. Ungayilungiselelanga lento kuzofana se-COJ, and it will be a joke in the world. That is why we are of the view that start preparing for coalition governments next year. Ngoba definitely the ruling party will not get more than 50%. Crime, unemployment, load shedding, corruption, the list is endless. Asikaze sicabange, as I conclude, ukuthi siyoba nama-graduates ahlele ekhaya angasebenzi eSouth Africa. Siyoba no-medical doctors abahlele ekhaya bengasebenzi, yet abantu bakithi bengayitholi sufficient service ey'bhedlela, othisha abangasebenzi, yet iy'ngane zethu zise-overcrowded. The list is endless. That is why 27 million ungavote South Africa, because people will be voting for what? Until there is a formidable alternative that brings hope to the people of South Africa, our country is going to be a failed state soon. In conclusion, 2024 will be treated like 1994. When 1994, abantu baye kuweni, I was one of them because I was a voter in 1994. Baye kuweni oseningizimu Afrika benamaphupho ukuthi bazoba nohulumeni omusha ozoletha inkululeko. 30 years late, those dreams have been washed away. And we have a challenge to mobilize wonke umuntu ukuthi let us work together to remove a government that failed the country over 30 years and put a new government that will revive our dreams and hopes, create job opportunities, rebuild the economy, ensure that it fights against crime as well as corruption. So in short, the matter was discussed amicably and we gave answers, and we still saso engage in our structures to next on Sunday. So when the National Extended National Council, kuzophinde kwize National Council, and finally kuzoba ne policy conference. These matters of alignment for elections will be engaged, kodwa practically ikhona into ekhona ukuthi si-aligne nobani. We can't be half pregnant. Sifike ngapha sebenze nalo, ngapha sebenze nalo, because we'll be creating a confusion if we do so in terms of the understanding of the political dynamics. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Just one issue I think I must clarify. The President is not deployed to the Western Cape. It's deployed to the National Assembly, which just happens to be in Cape Town. Parliament sits 3 days a week. We were all in Cape Town. Those of us who are MPs, some arrived last night, some arrived this morning, because the Simpson is in. So it's not a deployment to another province, a deployment to the National Assembly. The provincial deployments will be done and will continue as the national chairperson is, in the case of the legislature, is deployed to the Popo and Northwest. Deputy National Chair is in the legislature but deployed to Mpumalanga on party work. So I think we must make that distinction between the two, between public representative deployment and party mobilization, party work deployment. The mayor of Umuzinyati is deployed to Free State as the NEC National Council member hosting. So I think that distinction is very, very important. Okay, so Atlanta has just stepped up, so that was falls away. So I would like to, I saw that there's no other indication of any other hands. We will be up talking, colleagues. I just request that those of you who are present, please update your details with Bongani, who's seated at the back, so that we can continue updating our communications list and interactive list. The leadership will be available for any other interaction that you may have after this press conference. I would like to, on behalf of the IFP,